I just came across this picture.
Mighty. And it's really nice that we're able to be.
Where is it, man? Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Can you see this picture?
Is it Amdi Answers?
No, oh no, it's, oh, I can't show it, man. Zinab, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I can see it.
As far as shows Ariel's picture on the Atfal Amla. Actually, you don't. No, Anas, you should know about this. It's quite nice, actually.
And this is the one that asked me for it. And that's the only decent one I had. The other ones, I look like a Birmingham chav.
Like the guy.
The tie looks really good in it, though. The triangle, the samosa-shaped tie is brilliant, though.
Samosa shaped tie.
I envy that. Can't lie.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly play. I want to play something before we start. So there's this guy, New Ahmadi Answers. Everyone knows Ahmadi Answers, right? So
Yeah.
He made a really good video. I wanted to just show a bit of it. One of my favorite bits, actually. And he basically talks about one of the guys who's a convert, and he's a good friend of mine as well. Every day I meet him, and I always do duty in Jamia, and I cleaned toilets for the past 8 years before leaving Jamia. It was a really humbling job, actually, in hygiene. A lot of the Midlands guys, you guys every year in Jalsa, you always do that job as well. Before I think you moved to doing car park duty. But I remember every year you guys in Islamabad, especially, you guys used to come and do hygiene there, which was really nice to do. But in Islam, in Jamia, these converts would always come and stay. So we'd always like spend every day, all night talking to them and getting to know their story. So I just wanted to play a bit of that before we start, and then just talk about it a bit. I think it's really humbling for us to know how people change and where they come from. So with this guy, basically, I'm playing a bit towards the end, but with him, he's born a Christian. He's like every other guy. Like he went away from religion for a long time. He became very hard-hearted. Then he found Islam, eventually leading him to Ahmadiyyat. And then there's like a full circle of realizing that his actual neighbor was Ahmadi his whole time. And after 20 or so years, he reunites with that person after becoming Ahmadiyyan. And, you know, it's a really, really beautiful story. So I'm just going to play that. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear this? Is the audio okay? Or is it too low? 1 second.
Rabbi Sab is not coming out at the moment. The audio.
Audio. 1 second. I think there's a way. What about now? Is it coming now?
Not really. It's just like a bit faded away. Now it's pretty much totally gone.
Let's look. No? Is it working now?
No, not really, no.
Okay, right. It's always a pain. Let me try one more time.
Literally, I prayed. Allah has answered 3
Yeah.
for me. He doesn't have to answer anymore. For real, like he answered my first sincere prayer of showing me a sign so I can, give up what I was doing. Then he answered the prayer of forgiving the man who sold my mother drugs and my mother. And then he reunited me with my best friend that growing up. I mean, again, this is the sign of the promised Messiah. This is the truth of the promised Messiah. But the funny thing is I always, every now and then I make fun of my uncle. I was telling him, I said, man, why weren't y'all doing Tabligh, man? Where was the Tabligh at? Where were the flyers? Where were the barbecues, man? Where were the blood drives? I said, you would have preached to me at 10 years old, man. I would have accepted. I was looking for this. I've been looking for this. I was like, you made me live a hard life for another 19 years. But, Allah, it was Allah's will, of course, and we just joke about it. But, the Prophet Messiah says you have strong roots unless there's manure. So I had to go through that journey to get to where I am at this moment.
Wow, Alhamdulillah, what an inspiring story. Me and you are good friends, but it's the first time I've actually heard your story in such detail. So Alhamdulillah, really inspiring.
That's about it. Hamza, I know you saw that video. I know you watched the whole thing.
Ji bhai.
How did you feel when you watched it? Because I know we were talking about it before, innit?
I think obviously his whole story, he also mentions about, I think he met, I don't know if anyone else has watched it, but he mentioned about how his mother actually, she used to take drugs, and he actually met the drug dealer who sold drugs to his mother in one of these meetings in the Jamaat, and he actually converted to Ahmadiyyat as well. And he was just talking about the profound effect it had on him as well. And his mother actually saw a photo of that drug dealer before and after he converted, and his mother described that drug dealer as like the devil before, and now he looks like an angel. So it was just crazy to see like the blessings of Jamaat, and the fact that he managed to forgive that person as well. Imagine if we think of someone selling drugs to our mom, like destroying her life, and that to forgive such a person, only Jamaat can do that, really. You won't find that sort of forgiveness anywhere else.
I think even you mentioning about when he was doing bad the first time, the man who he was putting his hand on the shoulder was this guy who sold drugs to his mum. So like
crazy. It's crazy to think.
Even to that level, and he was hugging him and crying with him. Found out that he was that person. So like you said, there's only the Jamaat that can change you into that person and make you forgive people like that. That's the thing you saw it as well, innit?
Yeah, I did. It's quite good. I watched it a couple of days back, and it is. He's talking about how I think he's saying he got invited to one of the Ishmaels with Jalsa, and how he was like one of those new converts. They go to that special tent, and how like everyone was greeting him with so much love and like hugs, and he was saying it's as if like these guys are my proper brothers, and I guess it's that unity thing that he talked about as well, like how everyone's like like it's like a brotherhood.
Yeah, I remember he was saying when he went to Jalsa for the first time, he was watching Azhar Hanif Sahib, Murabbi Sahib, and he was like, "What is this, man?"
It's like Malcolm X.
For a lot of these African Americans, Malcolm X was a huge role model for them to come into Islam, and Ahmadiyyat as well. So like for him, like we don't realize how everything's just right, everything's just correct in what we do in our life. When people hear about these things, when you were saying about like when he heard about Jesus والسلام, not dying on the cross, he was like, what? How is this guy saying this how's Ahmadi saying this so confidently and so boldly that Jesus didn't die on the cross, and that really answered a lot of his questions. So like alhamdulillah, we know the truth, alhamdulillah, we know what is right, and everything we do alhamdulillah in our life is right because as a Muslim taught us that thing. But a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people know what is not right, but they don't know the truth. So it's really important for us as well. So it's good leading up to Zaid as well. It's important for us to understand the other side as well, and understand other people, what they allege against us, what they say about us. So just to increase our faith again. But alhamdulillah, we have to be very grateful. And these new Ahmadis, they excel very quickly when they accept Ahmadiyyat. They just want to keep on excelling. He's saying like I've read hundreds of Jamaat books after becoming an Ahmadi, and just in the space of a year or two. So with us, like we spend our whole lives. How many of these things do we do? So we have to really try and become the best Ahmadis that we can, and be amongst like the people in the first row, as the Quran speaks about.